Colin Robinson, thank you for joining us. I've been following your writings in the newspaper and your online posts. And it's only a couple of months ago I realized that you made a disclosure that you were diagnosed with colon cancer,
Mhm.
and your diagnosis is terminal.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I got a stomach ache at my brother-in-law's birthday celebration last July, and after it didn't go away for a month, and a series of tests here in Maryland, I was here at that moment. I found out that I had a significant colon tumor that ought to have been detected if I had done a colonoscopy when I was 50, when I turned 50.
Mhm.
Didn't happen. And we thought we got it, uh, that removing the tumor and doing chemotherapy and radiating the margins would make me cancer free. But as soon as we stopped chemotherapy, the tumor metastasized. And so I'm now the dreaded stage 4, uh, which means that I don't have a prognosis through Western medicine, at least, of ending up cancer free. And my months are numbered.
What does that mean? And what was your mind state when you were told you have cancer? Were you initially told you had stage 4 cancer at that time?
No, initially I didn't have stage 4 cancer. I had a tumor, and we were going to go in and take out the tumor. And the tumor was a bit of a medical curiosity because I don't know if you know much about how cancer works, but often we look at the lymph nodes surrounding the cancer to see how far it's progressed.
Mhm.
And if the lymph nodes show signs of cancer, it's a bad thing. Um, they biopsied over 20 of my nodes, and none of them were positive. They were all negative. So we thought the cancer was pretty well contained. Boom. Um, 6 months later, it had metastasized to different places around the abdomen, and I was what's called stage 4. So it wasn't initial. Initially, vanity kicked in, and I thought that no one would ever have sex with me again after I had abdominal surgery.
What does that mean?
That's where I went. I had a panic 2 nights before. Well, my surgery, I got offered an early surgery date, so I didn't have a lot of time to do mental processing.
Mhm.
My surgeon called me up and said, we can get you in 3 days.
Mhm.
And immediately I went into panic that, I would be this person with a disability that, no one would love me. No one would love my, my post-surgical scars. Hey,
Are you
got over that.
physically in any pain? You said you started this. The first symptom was a stomach ache that wouldn't go away. Have you been symptomatic since then? What have the symptoms and the process been like for you?
How I first figured out that the cancer had spread um, was that my doctors started whispering and not saying things to me directly, and that the pain came back. The same stomach ache from a year before came back and would not go away. I was in relentless pain. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. It hurt when I ate. It hurt when I didn't eat. And the doctors were not really focused on managing the pain. They were focused on figuring out, doing additional tests and kicking the ball down the road in terms of telling me.
Mhm.
So we set up the conference. Eventually, they said, look, it's clear that the cancer spread. And it was only at that point that they brought in the palliative care team that focused on, okay, you're going to be living with this. How do we manage the pain? And thankfully, we're doing a good job so far of palliation. I'm a morphine addict. I take my blue pill in the morning and my red pill at night, and that's how I get through days productively. But I have a decent quality of life again, which I thought when I began writing about having stage 4 that I wouldn't. I thought that I was destined to this life of unbearable pain that was just not, it wasn't tenable. It was like I couldn't live so. Um, that's changed, thankfully. I don't know for how long or how sustainably. We haven't done scans yet to see whether the. Oh, I also started second line chemotherapy. So I'm on another treatment regimen that may or may not have an effect. It has less promise than the first round of chemotherapy that I underwent. And we'll see in a week or two when I do my next scan whether it's actually shrinking the tumors or whether it's not having any effect. But so far, thankfully, between some combination of the narcotics and the chemotherapy, I'm able to live life. My sister will claim that it's walking on water as well. That I'm hydrating, and we go for as far as possible daily walks. Family support, I can't imagine what I would do without this support I've had. Support I've had from family.